Good morning and welcome to the Danish Countryside Chapel. I'm Pastor Lauren Christensen, or as my military friends like to joke, Reverend Sergeant Christensen. Today's Memorial Day. Today is a day when hopefully most of America stops and remembers all the people who sacrificed so much to keep our nation free. You know, the United States is an incredible country. When you look at it, now that we understand the entire map of the world in this late day, the United States has 2 full coastlines. We have more than 20 deep water ports. Our coastline spans thousands of miles by itself. Our country has we have deposits of virtually every natural resource that you can imagine, virtually every metal that you can imagine. More coal than we could ever use. We've got oil all over the place. We've got wind all over the place. We know that too. There are enormous rivers to carry commerce up and down. We've got the best farmland on earth. I'm standing right in the middle of it. Farmland so good that my vines in my vineyard had to be specially genetically engineered so they could handle all the nitrogen because it's too much. You want to talk about abundance? Our soil is so good that there are plants that can't grow in it because it has so much nitrogen. It is so rich in life. Our country is so rich in everything, in every natural resources. Great Lakes, so you can sail halfway into the country from the sea. Frankly, in 10 out of 10 tries, there's no way the United States wouldn't have made it unless we were splintered, fragmented, and split up in the Civil War. The only thing that can kill the United States is fragmentation. And yet everywhere you see fragments. You know, if a person can't agree to something for any other reason that it benefits them, you could think people could put aside their differences just for a minute and think what they stand to lose by not cooperating with one another. If the United States ever goes down, it will be our own fault. Your fault, my fault. Because it certainly isn't the land's fault. It's not where we are's fault. It's not proximity's fault. It's not the grandparents that we had's fault. They fought half the world and won 80 years ago. No. When the fight was over, we spent what they had made. And that's what happened. We had more gold and more power and more prestige than any other country in the world in 1945. And since then, we've blown all of it and another 30 billion, trillion, whatever it is, trillion. Can't even count that high. Today, Americans need to remember to stand together. It's to stand together. You know, every soldier, airman, Marine, sailor, Coast Guard, when we go over and do our duty wherever it might be, overseas a lot, especially in the last 25 years, we're not going over there for our half of you or the other half of you and defending them. We're going over there and defending everyone for freedom's sake under God, in order that everyone might have the same chance at happiness. There's not a lot more to say than this. Again, if this country ever falls apart, it will be our doing, no one else's. I love America. I love Jesus more. Amen.